research is going to be present what psycholinguistics is and the difference between the mental lexicon of English native speakers and English as a second language speakers. Even when some could assume that the storage and way of functioning of the second language lexicon are probably the same as the first language mental lexicon, some studies show that the real situation is that there are great differences between the L1 and the L2 learners.
First, the field of study which investigates how human beings store and process language in the brain is called psycholinguistics. It studies how humans discriminate sounds, store words, produce sentences, and how segment sentences into meaningful units, and how humans acquire language.
On the other hand, the mental lexicon, which was first introduced by Tresham, is a metaphor for the repository of words in the mind of the humans. In the mental lexicon humans storage many different kinds of motivation which are linked to each other in the network-like structure. Mental lexicon research shows how words in the mind are acquired, organized, and how our lexical knowledge is processed.
Some particular locations in the brain may be specialized for language functions. Paul Pierre Broca observed that an area in the left frontal lobe appeared to be responsible for the ability to speak. Wernicke further identified a nervy area which is adjacent to the part of the cortex that processes audio input as also being central to language processing.
Localizing language phenomena in the brain is the goal of neurolinguistics. As a consequence, specific questions have been explored in order to explain that phenomenon. For instance, how independent are the language of multilingual speakers? There is no a single answer to this question, but several research has been conducted trying to answer these questions. For at least some multilingual, it appears that L1 and L2 are stored in somewhat different areas of the brain, but both are predominantly in probably overlapping areas of the left hemisphere. However, the right hemisphere may be more involved in L2 than in L1. The area common to both L1 and L2 storage is near the Sylvan fissure in the left hemisphere, already established as the primary language area for monolingual, including Broca's and Wernicke's area, but only L1 or L2, more likely L2 is disrupted by a simulation of points further away from the Sylvian fissure.
According to Farahian, the mental lexicon of a native speaker includes, amongst other things, their knowledge of words of their language. But what exactly the notion of knowledge of words means and how this mental knowledge is represented is controversial, because some authors agree that there is actually not an exact correct term for mental lexicon. The definitions provided are based on metaphors. Bonin declares that mental lexicon contains several types of representations, including phonological, semantic, morphological, and orthographic. On one hand, according to Farahian, the organization of the mental lexicon after some investigations are findings revealed that basic to the lexicon and involved in its organization is an interrelated phonological system, a system of meaning relations and a spelling system which are interrelated. On the other hand, the ways in which the stored lexical items are interrelated is important. Gaines found that research in memory suggests that words are stored and remembered in a network of associations, and it's agreed upon by a lot of researchers. According to Walter and Aitchison, the L1 lexicon is constantly changing with new words and meanings are continually added. The lexicon is not fixed, it is spontaneous, fluid, and in a constant state of flux. However, psycholinguistic experiments have shown that the L1 lexicon is highly organized as speakers are able to conduct an orderly search through their mental word stores in short length of time, showing that the retrieval system of the lexicon is an organized and structured system. On the other hand, some studies in the L2 lexicon show that speaking at least two languages can have positive effect on lexical development, as bilingualism demands higher levels of lexical skills, influencing cognitive control and language representation.
As far I suggest, the mental lexicon of a native speaker is different from the second language mental lexicon, but the ways in which the L2 mental lexicon differ from the L1 is according to Sineton that although L2 mental lexicon and L1 mental lexicon are separately stored, they are connected with each other and are in communication.